right, another good leap from the jukebox man, but it looks like he's fighting a losing battle. Dancing City will win the sceptre.
Shot there of Nico de Boinville at the end on John Bond, but Arizona Cardinal it was, who emulated his grandmother Libertine by winning the Topham Chase for trainer Stuart Edmunds and jockey Kieran Getting. Stuart is with us in the studio. Stuart, great to see you. What a moment, what a day. How big a day for you and your team?
Oh, massive, yeah. When you haven't got, we've got sort of 40 horses. We haven't got many at that level. Everyone's very, very important.
And he is a horse who, but for a blip or two, has just developed a habit of winning races, of knowing how to win. And it seemed to me to come down to a test of guts from the elbow to the line.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, maybe the horse in front was idling, not quite getting home. But, yeah, he really does stick his head down, tries very hard. So, look, it was just great, wasn't it?
Green with black armbands there. And Kieran Getting still going a bit better at this point than I perhaps appreciated at the time, because my eye kept being drawn to James de Burley.
Yeah.
He pinged the last, you just missed it a little bit. Do you think that helped you a little bit?
He's not ungenuine, but I think probably then the second horse probably just idled it a bit in front and gave us something to run at. But he doesn't stop. He does keep galloping. He's just very genuine. But the main plan was, we thought his jumping was very strong. It was the first time he'd jumped those fences. So, you know, that was the main reason to go into that Topham rather than a big handicap chase over conventional fences. We thought the fences would bring out a bit of improvement.
Is he a horse you think could run another circuit round there?
Good question, and I'm not totally sure. He ran at Warwick over 3 miles 2. He was bang there at the last, and he pulled up between the last and the line. He was absolutely legless. Now, at the time, we have had his win looked at since. Did he run out of option? Did he run out of stamina? We're not totally sure. I'm not totally sure he's an out-and-out stayer.
And for you, it's been a really interesting few weeks, because you went and won a graded race in Ireland with Marsh Wren, who ran a terrific race at the Cheltenham Festival as well. You've won a Topham as well. The yard seems to be just gathering quietly quite a bit of steam. I mean, it's not like you're a stranger to success at big festivals, but do you feel now that you're just pushing to another level?
Yeah, hopefully. You know, obviously you need the horsepower. We moved yards last August, and it was difficult, obviously, to get used to. They're completely different gallops.
How far have you gone?
I will say it's 10 roundabouts over Milton Keynes. So it's literally 12 miles the other side of Milton Keynes. But where before we had a 7 furlong uphill gallop, now we have a 2 furlong deep sand gallop, and a 5 furlong carpet gallop, circular also, well, oval. So it's a completely different way of training. Maybe initially I was adamant I didn't want to overdo them, probably underdid them. Then they were needing it, so then I probably overdid them. So now hopefully we've got a balance.
Can I just ask a question, Stu, about owners and Nick talking about the stable, improving the quality, etc.
Yeah.
What you want are owners that believe in you. And what was a thing that really struck me afterwards? And we've spoken this morning about how owners can do whatever they want because obviously they are the ones that pay the bills. What struck me about the owners of Arizona Cardinal was the fact that they had utter, complete faith that this horse was going to be ready for the big race on Friday. Despite the couple of blips earlier in the season when he was pulled up a couple of times, I asked them, I said, were you ever any doubt that this horse was going to be here? Because this has been the target. They said never. That Stuart filled them with confidence all the way through the season. How much does it help to have people who are entirely backing you like that?
Yeah, people that trust you, obviously. But I think the biggest thing is you can be honest with them as well. I mean, this horse has struggled with respiratory problems. He just he'll scope dirty. And we scoped him 3 days before we went to Exeter, scoped absolutely clean, ran him at Exeter, very disappointing, pulled up, scoped him immediately afterwards, was full of mucus. You know, but I always say you relate it to yourself. Who's to say I could leave here, I could come here without a cold, I could leave here with a cold. Who knows?
The studio is very cold.
It is actually.
Yeah, it is quite cold, yeah. But I think as long as you're honest with them and they trust you, I think because we haven't got so many of that higher level, the attention to detail for those horses, we scoped him 2 days before, we were very happy with him. Kieran comes in, he's a major part of the job.
I mean, he's ridden for you for...
He rode out his claim for us, actually. He rode for us with his claim when he was at Mr. Hobbs's. He rode out his claim for us on a good mare, Maria's Benefit at Doncaster. I mean, he was still claiming there, but obviously couldn't claim in a Class 2, so he rode out his claim that day for us. And yeah, he's ridden for us a long time. He's a good lad, he's a big part of the team, he's a good bloke as well, you know.
And that consistency must be crucial.
Yeah, the consistency. He's just always the same. He doesn't have peaks and troughs as a person, so why would he have it in his riding?
And how about you? Are you the same?
No. My wife has to put up with a lot. And the daughter has to, Harriet, she has to put up with a lot. But I try to, but I'm fairly volatile, let's put it that way.
Tell me a little bit about the transition that you made from being a big part of the late Mrs. Robeson's operation to then taking on the licence to where you are now. Maybe start by talking a little bit about Renee Robeson for those people who don't remember her and her contribution to the sport.
Yeah, she was an amazing lady, quite a character, but very private lady, and she didn't really want many owners. She allowed me to have a few owners, but she didn't really want them. But then when she sadly died, I had to take over the licence literally the next morning.
And had that been understood that would be the case?
Yes, it was. I had gone and done my courses. She set it all up, bless her. I think she must have known she was not very well. She didn't tell anybody else. And she died.
How long were you with her?
I've been there since I was 14 years old.
No way.
Yeah. Literally, yeah. I started off show jumping for them because Mr. Robeson was a very good show jumper. I did a bit, nothing to that level at all.
Peter Robeson,
yeah. So I worked with her. I mean, she was as much a horsewoman or a stockwoman as much as a horse trainer, as a racehorse trainer. I mean, she milked, they had 250 cows and she knew every cow. So, as a stock person, I think you learned a lot about being a stock person more than a racehorse trainer to start with. She had horses for years and years, and her family did. Sir Evelyn Rothschild, that was her brother. That was great, and then I had to take over. So we kind of had to persuade Rothschilds, who then took on the estate, that we were a viable proposition to keep training rather than just keep throwing money at it. So we got a few more owners, and that worked well. A lot of syndicates, that worked well. And then when Mr. Robeson died, and then Rothschilds took it on, they wanted to sell the farm, which was a bit of a shock, to be honest with you. And then good friends of mine, Michael and Fiona Keogh, came along and said, look, we'll build you a place. So, planning permission, great crested newts were a rather large problem. You can't believe such a small animal could be such a big problem. But eventually we got that built, and we had a slow start. We did have a slow start, but it's really going well now, so very pleased.
And was there a time when, the rug was sort of being pulled from under your feet that you thought, well,
yeah,
I've had a good run, I might have to think about something else?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I did get offered a few jobs. People came to me once they knew what was going on. And but I just wanted my own identity. I was always a little bit under Mrs. Robeson's shadow, so I wanted to do it myself. So thank God it's worked.
So almost a blessing in disguise that you had to move.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, sometimes you need a kick up the backside to get on.
And it's clearly worked extremely well. So tell me, you mentioned your wife and your daughter Harriet. Tell me how the whole family dynamic works.
Well, Harriet, daughter, she's assistant trainer, but she does a lot. I mean, she basically runs the yard. As I probably wrongly said the other day in an interview, I do the shouting. I try not to shout too much, but you know what I mean. It's a team effort. There's about 8 girls work for us. My wife puts up with me, because I'm not easy.
You keep saying that. You've been very amenable, to come on.
Well, she tells me I'm not easy. No, I can be volatile. But anyway, so, yeah, the wife backs us all the way. I mean, it was difficult. We all cried for weeks when we didn't know what we were going to do. But then a guy came along, built a new yard, so it was great.
So the new yard, it's Michael Keogh, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
And his wife, Fiona, yeah.
And are they going to invest more heavily in the in the bloodstock as well?
He's got a few horses. His wife trains very successfully point to pointing. So they have their own little yard at the top, and I've got 2 barns down the bottom. We share the gallops, and that works well. He buys a few, but he would sell them as quick as buy them. So,
Okay.
you know, if we've got owners within the yard that want the horse, he'll sell them within the yard. So he had that good mare, Mascada. She actually, we had to sell her. She paid for the barn to be built.
So when she won at the Cheltenham Festival for Henry de Bromhead,
Yeah, it was a bit of a kick. But we just keep looking at the barn and thinking, she paid for it.
okay, now you've got to find,
The next one.
well, Marsh Wren, you've gone to Ireland and plundered one of their big prizes. She's run an amazing race at the Cheltenham Festival as well.
Yeah.
When mares get on a roll, they can keep rolling. Could she keep rolling?
I think so, yeah. I mean, she was a homebred by Mrs. Robeson's, which made it really special.
Is it the old Warbler?
Yeah, it is. I
family?
mean, I've known that family for six generations, I think.
Setty's Warbler?
Setty's Warbler, before their Arctic Warbler, Oliver Sherwood trained. Yeah, it's gone on forever. So, yeah, she wouldn't be the quickest thing on 4 legs, but she probably would be the toughest. Yeah, I mean, at Cheltenham, for all the world, she looked as if she was going to get swallowed up, and to hang on for 3rd was pretty tough.
You mentioned Mrs. Robeson's brilliant horse husbandry.
Yeah.
You've also talked about being able to devote attention to a set number of horses. Still, however, in this game, you need numbers, and you need numbers of significant quality. Is the system in place effective enough then to withstand an expansion?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. It could take an expansion, but to be honest, I'd rather improve the quality than the numbers. I know probably you have to have the numbers to stumble across the quality, but at the minute, to be honest, we're quite happy with 45. We've always got room for the odd one because we've just put another little barn, an agricultural barn, so who knows what can fill in it.
And do you have very tangible goals, ambitions, targets?
Not really, no. I think my main motto has always been to try and do the best with whatever animals you've got. I mean, we've, horses that start off at 90, and if they can get to 120, 125, well then I think you've done the right thing by them, which is what we aim to do.
Rishi, I thought it was fantastic to see Arizona Cardinal winning. Stuart is a huge trainer compared to Andrew Hamilton, who won the last race that day with El Jefe at 40-1. But both results, I thought, gave hope that winners can come from different places.
Yeah, and I was struck particularly by the reaction in the winners' enclosure from all the owners, who all come from different places as well. I met one Irish chap who, Ty, is it?
Ty, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Quite a character.
My goodness, his celebration after the race was something else, and someone on the ITV socials captured it. And then we went to speak to him afterwards, and I was asking him I said, what's your name? And he spelt it. He said it's Tango Alpha, and then I couldn't quite get the rest of it. But then he just bowled into the conversation, and then he reminded me of other good horses that he'd owned as well.
Yeah.
But then I also met Peter Bourneil and all the other people involved in the ownership, and they're from all over the place. I mean, from different backgrounds, and that's what I was really struck by. So your point about winners can come from anywhere, but the owners who can enjoy those winners can also come from everywhere. And I suppose for people operating at the level that we can, and have the odd share here and there, it's quite encouraging.
Yeah, it was fabulous to see a wonderful victory in the Topham for Arizona Cardinal. Well, there will have been a few weeks during the course of this season